The third season of MLS Next Pro Soccer begins tonight, and this one kicks off here from Choctaw Stadium in Arlington as North Texas Soccer Club takes on Vancouver Whitecaps 2. Happy to have you along this evening on MLSNextPro.com. I'm Joe Malfa. This is going to be a big one between these two teams looking to get off on the right foot. Two teams who finished similarly last year, both below the playoff line, similar records, similar spots in the table, and hoping to improve this year. North Texas has been in the playoffs previously, 2022, hoping to get back there. John Gall now takes over as the head coach from the beginning this year. Still Ricardo Clark in charge of this Vancouver side. North Texas starting lineup looks like this evening. Diego Pepi is the striker up top. Name sounds familiar. Younger brother of Ricardo Pepi. He made 12 appearances last year with 1 goal in MLS Next Pro. Will be more of a focal point this year. This is his first career MLS Next Pro start. They call him El Trencito, or Little Train. Older brother Ricardo is El Tren, and doing some great stuff with the U.S. men's national team. Now it's Diego's turn here in North Texas. And some faces throughout the lineup familiar for North Texas from last year, as they do have some carryover. On the other side for Ricardo Clark and this Vancouver Whitecaps 2 side, near complete turnover from last year. Jay Herdman is the only regular starter that you have in the lineup. Again, he is the captain of the side tonight. 19-year-old started 3 matches at the U20 World Cup last May for New Zealand, where they lost to the United States in the round of 16. So a couple of familiar faces maybe throughout the roster, but near full turnover for Vancouver from last year's roster to this year's. And they do have a few guys there looking to step up. Lowell Wright had 4 goals last year in minimal time. And Nicolas Florio-Chateau, the 74th overall pick in the 2024 draft, will get a start up top with Lowell Wright. Had 14 goals collegiately last year at St. John's. This is meeting number 5 in the all-time series history between these two teams, split right down the middle with 2 wins apiece. Last year, it was actually the road team winning both matches, Vancouver 4-1 and North Texas 1-0, both on the road. Vancouver in the white from left to right, North Texas in the blue from right to left here this evening. Matches in all tonight around MLS Next Pro. Another 2 tomorrow, and then a full slate on Sunday as we get things going here in 2024. And we're underway in 2024 here in MLS Next Pro. North Texas Soccer Club against Vancouver Whitecaps 2. Happy to have you along this evening. I'm Joe Malfa, here with you on MLSNextPro.com. This North Texas side, some familiar faces who started to carve out roles later in the year last year. So they went through their coaching change. John Gall, the interim. Goldthorpe will get it back into play for Vancouver. 22-year-old from Leeds, England. 45th overall pick in this past year's MLS draft. Two terrific collegiate seasons at Hofstra for Goldthorpe. One of the players that head coach Ricardo Clark pointed to as needing to step up this year and fill some of the shoes of the guys that have gone on to whether it's the first team or to other clubs. Monte Johnson was outstanding last year for Vancouver, earned his first team deal. That's the main production that they have to replace here, Vancouver. Johnson scored 7 goals last year. Over the top for Tarek Scott. Happy to see him back again in 2024. Missed all of last year with a torn ACL. And this is out for a goal kick. But the 18-year-old from Frisco, Texas, originally from Brooklyn, New York, has been called up by the Jamaican U20 national team. Tarek Scott, 6 appearances, 1 start, 2 goals in 2022. Before he, again, missed that year last year with a torn ACL that he suffered it in one of their final preseason matches. Shemenkov. All the way back around for Max Anchor on loan from the first team. 19-year-old keeper from Burnaby, British Columbia. Did make 14 starts in Next Pro last year. Given away. Abdul Zane helped step up to win it for North Texas. Another newcomer, Abdul Zane. Carl Sainty, 21-year-old with 15 caps for Haiti's senior national team. Started last year at the Gold Cup and throughout their Nations League matches. Anchoring the middle of this back line, here he is again, Sainty. Diego Garcia for Tarek Scott. Tarek Scott plays it through. Diego Pepe looks for a goal. Hands over his head. Good early opportunity. He felt he should have done more with. Pepe. Tarek Scott did just keep it in. Garcia plays it along. Oh, a try from distance by Mendanka. Gobbled up by Max Anchor. Pulled out for Ivan Badwal. Corbin May, the referee in charge tonight. Emmanuel Math. Touched off to Lowell right. Looking back through for Florio Chateau. Back the other way. Sali, on loan from the first team. Sali signed a U22 initiative contract with FC Dallas this year. Scott. Tarek Scott to the end line. It took a deflection, so Max Anchor will gather it. And now the referees say it did just cross the line for a corner before he gobbled it up. The first set piece of the evening belongs to North Texas. Diego Garcia lines it up. In swinger with the left foot. Garcia goes short with it. Oh, if that's what he had in mind. He just did not connect the way he had intended. Garcia. Brought down. Free kick now for North Texas. Inez Sali, the 18-year-old, stands over it. Became the youngest player to debut for Romania's senior national team. But he made his World Cup qualifying debut in 2021. 15 years, 8 months, 22 days. Comes out for Garcia, who has a hit, but slices it well wide. Diego Garcia, the 17-year-old, made 17 starts last year with 3 goals and 2 assists. Back at it again for North Texas. Mihail Gerashmenkov get it back into play. 18-year-old, made 16 starts last year. Gerashmenkov, one of the few holdovers who saw extensive minutes for Vancouver last year. So a lot of players either graduated to the first team, which Ricardo Clark was very proud of. Some went elsewhere to different organizations. Gerashmenkov, defending Scott, flicked along for Garcia. Felt this year, Ricardo Clark, that this group would rely more on the players beneath from the academy to come up and supplement the roster rather than players from the first team coming down to supplement the roster. We'll rely on a key core group of guys as they did last year. Switched all the way out to one of those core guys, Jay Herdman, but I don't know if he read it wrong. It seemed like it was playable. A few yards left of it, he ended up. Gives a thumbs up across to Elliot Goldthorpe for playing that ball across, but unable to link up. Played through from Pondeka. Still Pondeka. Turned over. Florio Chateau. Pondeka wins it back. Tomas Pondeka, interesting story. He's a versatile player, comfortable on the ball in the midfield. Local kid, attended open tryouts ahead of 2023. Was then invited in for a more formal trial, made the team in preseason, and has been a regular ever since. Kept in by Sali. And Danka. Sali pushes it ahead for Zane. Took a deflection, stays in. Only going, controlled by North Texas. 3 shots, 1 on target. We've seen the majority of the ball, 75% possession. Malcolm Simmons runs into Tarek Scott. Sali pushes ahead. Inez Sali still. Pepe turns. Diego Pepe running through. The offside flag comes up. Tonight's match is brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. Nearly a dozen minutes into this one, still scoreless between North Texas and the Vancouver Whitecaps. Joe Malfa with you this evening from Choctaw Stadium in Arlington. Glad to have you along on MLSNextPro.com as we begin the third season of MLS Next Pro. Reigning champions Austin came from behind to beat Columbus in this past year's final. Columbus wasn't far off from going back-to-back. So much success, by the way, Columbus, that their head coach Laurent Courtois moved on to Major League Soccer, now in charge of CF Montreal. So it's not just the players that you'll see come through MLS Next Pro on their way up to MLS. Coaches as well have been able to launch their careers. Garcia for Pepe, flag stays down. Tarek Scott. Pepe tried to get out of the way of it, but he was offside and clipped his calf. Courtois, by the way, in charge of that Montreal team, went on the road and they beat Inter Miami this past week. Sainty. Mendonca did not play last year. Nick Mendonca, 2022, was a mainstay in the midfield for Minnesota. 23 appearances, 20 starts, 3 assists. Garcia. Vandeca. For Sainty. Continue to dominate the ball, this North Texas side. It's their MO. Very heavy possession-based team, but give it away. Won it right back by Salih Zane. Vandeca. Little slip from Pepe. He tried to work back toward that ball. Free kick on the way for Vancouver. Clark said his biggest takeaway from last year to this year, in charge of this Vancouver side, was simply learning new ways to best support the first team as the year goes along. Whether that's finding ways to get some of those first team guys more minutes with the second team, or finding opportunities throughout the year in training to integrate some more players so that they can better pump players from the second team up to the first team. Just learning to be more of a conduit, more beneficial for the first team. Biggest year-over-year lesson for Ricardo Clark. They've done a good job of sending players up through the system to the first team. I suppose always room for improvement, and a sign of a really good coach and a really good organization, always looking for different ways to get better in that regard. Scott. Garcia. Battling for it, Vandeca wins it cleanly. Scott. On the other side for John Gall. The biggest difference between this year and last year is just having more time with the group, trying to take it day by day. Hasn't really dwelled on the fact that his title now no longer reads interim or assistant. He is just the head coach and in charge of this group. Understands his role and responsibility, trying to execute it as he has been throughout the years, from assistant up to interim and now permanent head coach. Says he doesn't want the title to change him. He wants to continue being the best developer of players that he can be for this North Texas side. The nature of this job is a difficult one. So much talent in this general area. It's no surprise, a big reason why that FC Dallas over the last decade have produced the most, by far, young talent through their academy up through FC Dallas and exported them, whether it's to the U.S. men's national team, overseas, the likes of Weston McKennie, Ricardo Pepi. This could go on. And with that, you're turning through players rather often. You have to leave no stone unturned as far as making sure you're seeing all the talent in your area. Very difficult undertaking. John Gall intimately familiar with it and enjoys that challenge every year. Certainly a challenge this year because they again pumped out so much talent to the next level. Picked up by Herdman. Florio Chateau plays it through. First real foray forward for Vancouver. Haven't gotten him in the attacking third all that often. Still without a shot. Gerashmenkov. Break you're seeing now in the action is so that players observing Ramadan can break their fast and then get back out to the action. Minutes in, still scoreless between North Texas and Vancouver. Still looking for their first shot, Vancouver. Launched over the top. Herdman was there, lurking for it. Pepi tries to knock it down. Gerashmenkov. And along by Sainty. Back and forth they go. Who will finally settle it? The answer is Vancouver through Jay Herdman. Herdman hopeful to make the Olympic team for New Zealand this summer. Being a regular starter for the U20s at the World Cup last May. Back from Max Anchor. Bent run through for Lowell, right off his line is Michael Colodi. We haven't had to mention tonight. Colodi in his rookie season with North Texas out of Columbia University, former FC Dallas Academy product before he went on to college. So a return home for him from Frisco, Texas. Herdman, throw for Vancouver. Manual math. Elliot Goldthorpe hasn't seen many touches on the ball. They need to get him more involved. And a free kick coming for Vancouver just outside the 18. Essentially be a short, better angled corner kick here for Vancouver. See if they can get something going. Yet to register a shot tonight. Started to cut into North Texas's possession advantage. Need more spells on the ball as of late. Elliot Goldthorpe stands over the free kick. This portion of the match brought to you by Children's Health, the official healthcare partner of FC Dallas and North Texas FC. Goldthorpe, a lot of traffic in front of Colodi. Goldthorpe drives it all the way through, but overcooks it. And it's out for a goal kick. Moment wasted by the Whitecaps. Norris tried to drive it diagonally. Ricardo Clark still has a soft touch. Looks it over to the fourth official and back into play. Sainty. 22 starts for Sainty over the last 2 seasons. Player they can rely on, the 21-year-old from Haiti. Middle of this back line. Colodi. Norris, that's the diagonal he was trying to hit moments ago before it was blocked. This one lands perfectly for Tarek Scott. It's still Tarek Scott. Dunk up, some pressure here. Move to Norris. Well, Norris, the 35th homegrown signing in FC Dallas's history, finds Abdulzadeh. Sally flips it through. Garcia puts it in front. Sally closes in. Vancouver able to clear. Crisis averted. Runs by Halbuni, and it was just over the line for a corner. Careless giveaway by Vancouver. Have to hope it doesn't come back to bite them now. Short from the corner. Sally. Pandeka. Garcia floats it ahead. Halbuni got ahead to it. Back for Sainty. Through for Scott. Pressure still building here for North Texas. Scott lost it. Battling to win it back, still looking for it, still caught up in traffic. Down goes Norris. Play on, says the referee. Ondeka goes for a goal. Really, traffic found a way to get really good pace and velocity on that shot, but out for a goal kick. Ahead for Florio Chateau. To the end line, Florio Chateau puts it in front. No trouble for Colodi. Nolan Norris, 18 starts in his next pro career. This is his third season now, Nolan Norris. Continuing to grow into the role. He was just named today, actually, to the U.S. U19 side as they go on to play England and Morocco in friendlies later this month. Number 32, bottom of your screen, that is Nolan Norris. On the radar for the U.S. Youth National Team, already capped a number of times for the U.S. Youth National Team. Gives it away here. Herdman. Only a half an hour in, still scoreless between North Texas and Vancouver. Florio Chateau eyes for a goal, goes for a goal. Maybe spotted that Colodi was a bit far off his line. Trying to catch him on the back pedal. Garcia still finding a way through. Last touch too heavy. Low right, call for the foul. 20-year-old Wright had 4 goals and 3 assists last season. Sally Garcia. Now it's Herdman with acres of space. Jay Herdman. But slow in transition there, Vancouver. Herdman had a lot of space. He had some numbers. Forced backwards in the end. Nico Gordon picks it up. 21-year-old from Birmingham, England. Comes over from Birmingham City. Gordon had 15 appearances over the last 3 years in the championship. 6 caps for Montserrat as well at the senior level in CONCACAF competition. One of their starters in the fall edition of Nations League. This portion of the match is brought to you by Advocare. Hydration for today, tomorrow, every day. Anchor has only had to make one save so far. This portion of the match brought to you by Advocare. Hydration for today, tomorrow, every day. Sally. Two teams who finished below the playoff line last year. And maybe, as is typical of a lot of MLS Next Pro teams, as the roster morphs throughout the season. Look out here. Colodi has to track back and gather this one. But both teams had some really good spells last year, some downward spells as well. North Texas ended on a very high note. That's what made John Gall, the head coach, the most excited. They ended in a very positive way, kept that momentum going into the offseason. Felt that a lot of the returning players came back with an extra pep in their step, encouraged and motivated by the way last season ended, showing what they're capable of this year, expecting big things. Here's Tarek Scott pushing ahead. Scott to the end line, out for a corner. Garcia from the corner. That's twice now that he's left it short and not past that first line of defenders on the near side of the 6-yard box. Have to improve on that as the game goes along, especially in a tight 0-0 with 10 to go in the first half, where opportunities are seemingly going to be at a premium tonight. Only one shot on target combined between these teams thus far. Cannot afford to squander set pieces like that. Herdman dispossessed by Garcia, won back by Grashemenkov. And a free kick for Vancouver. Taken quickly. Helbuni. Free kick for Vancouver once again. Goldthorpe will stand over this free kick. You notice he took the earlier free kick with his left foot, the one that was down near the end line just outside the 18. This one he'll take with his right foot. Goldthorpe puts it into a dangerous position, slapped away by Colodi. Exactly where that free kick needed to be. Took a very brave play from Colodi through the traffic to slap it away. Florio Chateau on the turn, looking through. And Herdman running. Grashemenkov, excuse me. Herdman. Bodwall taken down. Another free kick for Vancouver. Starting to generate more pressure on North Texas. And a yellow card for Diego Pepe as well.
yellow card, finishing the North Texas SC player number 16, Diego Pepe, getting 38.
Still a long way to go before we reminder that same rules still apply here at MLS Next Pro. If tied after 90, we'll head to kicks from the mark to decide who gets the bonus point for the evening. So Pepe on a yellow card. We'll hold that thought for just a moment. Free kick comes in from Goldthorpe, and it'll be out for a corner. With the yellow card to Pepe, a change this year of note in the red card rule. No longer will you miss the next game against that same team. It's back to the traditional red card rule where you will just simply miss the next match. Pressure starting to build now for Vancouver. Still just the one shot on the evening. This is their second corner. They've had a handful of free kicks in the attacking half. 20 final third entries now for Vancouver, just 16 for North Texas. They've grown into this first half on the road. Now Goldthorpe whips it in, punched away again by Colodi. Second time we've seen the keeper now confidently punch away on a set piece. Booney can't do anything with it. Just simply out for a throw. With 6 to go in this first half. Norris. Sainty and Gordon. Mendonca, Norris. Last year, this North Texas team had a penchant for the goal scoring, 43 of them, but they allowed 45. Some troubles defensively as the year went along. Tarek Scott still looking for their first of 2024. Perhaps off this corner. Another dangerous run from Pepe. Vancouver, on the other hand, last year, a lot of their success and a lot of their struggles came in very drastic spurts. A near identical record to North Texas. They were 8-13-7. North Texas 9-11-8. Vancouver scored 7 fewer goals, allowed 7 more, but the results were almost the same. Top of the box, whipped in, blocked. Comes back out for Sainty. Flag will stay down. Sally back for Pondeca. Tomas Pondeca whips it in front. It's off of the defender, Halbouni, and out for another corner. Curious to see how different the second half looks between these two teams. We'll see if the score is still 0-0. Mendonca floats it. And finally, alleviating the pressure, Vancouver. Curious to see how things go in the second half. Neither of these teams really knew a whole lot about the other. Tried to gather some breadcrumbs from footage of last year. In North Texas's case, though, a new coach made things a bit difficult for Vancouver. So many new players, maybe tweaks at how the first teams for these clubs play in MLS, having a trickle-down effect, and no video available from the preseason. Both coaches, Ricardo Clark for Vancouver, John Gall for North Texas, echoed the same talking points coming into this one. A lot more focus on themselves, and what they can be tighter on, and maybe needed some improvement from the preseason, and then just adjust to the opponent on the fly. We'll see what adjustments may become at the half. And what has been a very tight game so far. Only one combined shot on target still. It belongs to North Texas. Another free kick for Vancouver. Toss from Colodi. Finds Tarek Scott in some space. Excuse me. That's Garcia. Norris. Sainty. Looking long off the back of Elliot Goldthorpe's head. Sali wins it. Pepe on Deca. You notice he's really good with the ball in tight spaces. That's because of his futsal background. Was part of the U.S. men's national team in futsal in the 2021 CONCACAF Championships. It's played through. Opportunity brewing. Abdul Zane couldn't find it. Sal Pondeka came to pass here for North Texas. It's back for Colodi. Play out of it. Again, Pondeka, that futsal background just showed up, a local kid for a tryout with North Texas, and it worked out. Tarek Scott. Official word on stoppage time here in this first half. Let's see what the fourth official decides. Aside from the Ramadan fast break, there haven't been too many stoppages in this half. And the answer is just the 2 minutes for that break in the action. Gordon. Garcia pushing past Bodwall. Garcia still with it. Puts his head down, tries to get past Bodwall. Right into the ground, and a free kick coming for North Texas. One last opportunity here in this half to get something goalward. Driven ball in near the penalty spot, flicked along by Sainty. Second effort at it there from Norris. Zane settles. Mendonca with it. Sainty, the center back again. The pressure from Florio Chateau. Garcia. Pondeka. Garcia, final 30 seconds of the half. Zane. Sali couldn't handle it. That should bring us to the end of half number one. 6 shots for North Texas, 1 for Vancouver. Only 1 combined shot on goal. And that will do it for half number one. North Texas and Vancouver still scoreless on the opening night of the 2024 MLS Next Pro season. Here in season number 3, we've seen some growth to the league as well. We welcome the Carolina Core.
I think it's going to be an amazing story.
We're all very excited to start off the season.
It's my first professional season. Great teammates, great coaching staff. Couldn't ask for a better setup.
It's a new club in a town that's been around for a long time as far as soccer is concerned.
I would put this staff up against any MLS staff.
I just think that it's super important so that kids who are playing soccer at the youth level can kind of look upwards, go to games, dream a little bit, come to our training sessions, see what it feels like in person, and really fall in love with the sport and continue to grow with the sport.
Established in 2002, Carolina Core FC will be joining MLS Next Pro this season. Based in High Point, North Carolina, the club will open their season at nearby neighbors in Charlotte, Crown Legacy FC. Let's get to know about the club in the core region of Carolina, nicknamed the Foxes.
There's something for everybody here. And even though the Carolina Core itself isn't one large metropolitan like the Raleigh-Durham area or the Charlotte area, we have a little bit of everything for people that want to live here. We're nestled in a town of not that many people, but around us within about 20 minutes, there's different cities in 4 different counties. And when you look around, especially in the springtime and the summertime, it's just lush green everywhere, red dirt clay, which you'll see in our logo, which is reflective of the region.
Carolina Core's project has been able to attract names that soccer fans across the country are familiar with.
This whole project has attracted people in a way that I never would have imagined. And one of those people is Eddie Pope. Eddie is from High Point, born and raised. When we were starting this project, we reached out to Eddie just to let him know that we were doing it and hoping that he would come for an appearance or two because he is Eddie Pope. And it turns out that he was really interested in what we were doing and he wanted to be involved in a really real way. And so he ended up becoming our chief sporting officer. He is the one that has built this amazing technical staff. He loves this town. And he said to me, he said, Megan, I never imagined that I would be able to come back home and do what I love.
For me, coming back to this region is one of the most satisfying things. We are very fortunate in that we had a really good runway of a year plus to be able to put all the pieces in place. We really needed that whole year. And so I think that's been beneficial.
They've used the time they've had wisely, bringing in staff with invaluable experience.
When I was thinking about the staff and how I wanted to build it out, the first thing that came to my mind was who's the best. You look at Diamond Ricketts, right? He was a former goalkeeper of the year, played in the World Cup.
We've assembled a good group of players. Talent is there. Hopefully, once we get going, it'll be a wonderful season.
Andy Williams played in the World Cup, MLS Cup champion, Open Cup champion.
Eddie's done a great job bringing us all in, different aspects of our lives and careers right now, and formed a great bunch, and I'm excited to be a part of this.
We're Lassiter, obviously Golden Boot winner. U.S. men's national team.
Expect some young players, definitely with high intensity, high energy, players that are going to look to try to go forward and just showcase themselves. But also they're going to have a level of maturity too.
Amado Guevara, which a lot of people don't know, MVP of a Copa America, MVP of MLS.
Se ha formado un grupo de jugadores, que con características muy interesantes, que son muchos de ellos con el deseo de seguir creciendo. Entonces nuestro trabajo va a ser ese, terminar de formarlos y potenciarles, sobre todo cada una de las facetas y de las condiciones que ellos presenten para que, en un futuro sea cada vez mejor y más sólido, individual y colectivamente.
I'm working every day in the locker room with a sense of gratefulness. I feel like I'm lucky to be able to work with these people that I already did it in the very highest level.
It's a blessing. I've already learned so much. I feel like, it's crazy to say, but I'm a completely different player than I was 2 weeks ago. So yeah, I'm just excited for more weeks, more months, and I can't imagine what my game is going to be at the end of the year.
Our first week together was like we've known each other for a whole year, a whole season already. We've all connected so well. I love every single one of those guys out there. They're family to me, and I have their back when we're on the field, and I believe they'll have mine as well.
Once we start to play, and especially when we get that first home match, I think the vibes will really start to kick off.
We're gonna be working super hard for the team. We're gonna be doing everything we can to defend the cause of this team.
We're here for the community and also for this club, and we represent this badge. And as long as we have each other, that's all we need.
This is the community's team, and I want them to feel as much a part of the ownership group as we are, because this is what we built it for. We built it for our community, we built it for our players, and so I want them to know that this is theirs.
Excitement is gaining across the core region as fans await their club's MLS Next Pro debut.
Anytime I go out, I have on something with the Fox on it, and people starting to recognize it. And I'm like, oh, you guys are the new soccer team, you know, we're excited to have you. It's awesome.
Definitivamente que hemos sentido el respaldo, ¿no? de la gente. Como es un proyecto nuevo, mucha gente no sabía de ello y poco a poco va metiéndose, poco a poco va teniendo la inquietud de conocer más. Y bueno, sobre todo la comunidad latina, ¿no? Yo no esperé que había tanto hondureño por aquí y me he encontrado mucho hondureño que ya está esperando el juego, inclusive no solo el juego inaugural aquí, sino que el juego en la ciudad de Charlotte, donde vamos a tener nuestro primer juego. Nosotros como equipo pues vamos a estar esperando ese apoyo y ese cariño de nuestra gente.
The people in the front office have really done a lot. They're working tireless. Tireless to, you know, get out in the community, let people know who we are. Likewise, our players and our staff, we want to get out there too as well, and you know, let the community know that we're here, so people are able to come out and see us.
Truist Point is being renovated and set to host the club's inaugural home match on June 1st. Before then, fans will follow the Foxes on the road as they get ready for this historic season.
One of the things I just love about the sport is that it's such a unifier. I'm so excited to see how many people come into our stadium and come watch our team play, all walks of life, because our city alone has over 80 languages spoken in it. I mean, we really have a very diverse community, and I believe that soccer is one of those things that can just bring people together and bring them together in such a fun way.
Going to be very nice to welcome Carolina Core this year to MLS Next Pro as we begin the third season. And in this start of the third season, a very busy opening week. There's no easing into the schedule here in 2024. A couple of games, of course, here on this Friday night, 2 more on the Saturday, and then a full slate on Sunday. Some new faces, rather some new names, but familiar teams. Bottom right, the town, that's the San Jose Earthquakes affiliate, just rebranding, and literally as we were set to come on the air tonight, LA Galaxy 2 will be Ventura County Fusion. So some rebranding going on, some old teams with new looks, new logos, new names. And then on the right side, Carolina Core against Crown Legacy FC, one of the expansion sides here in 2024. Good to welcome them all in, and you have no shortage of soccer you can watch this Sunday here in MLS Next Pro's opening match week. And in the opening half of the opening match for North Texas and Vancouver, we saw no goals either way. Maybe a lengthy feeling out process between these two teams on opening night without any real film to get on the other. Not sure what to expect coming in. Both teams playing a bit more reserved. A lot of focus on passing in the middle third, a lot of possession. 7 shots were sent in by North Texas, but that one you just saw there, the only shot on target for either team in that first half. A couple of dangerous moments that were created. Didn't quite get through to the goalkeeper, Max Anchor. Back line with a couple of blocked shots for Vancouver. This one continued to play out after the set piece. Nearly an own goal as it came off of Bilal Halbouni. Fortunate to have it go wide They couldn't have any opportunity there to react to it. And here's a look at the stats from that first half. Possession heavily in favor of North Texas, as it was for much of the half. There was a portion there in the middle third of that first half where Vancouver climbed back into the possession battle, but then North Texas flexed its possession muscles once again. They haven't done much with it. Possession with purpose is very different from possession itself. Yes, they have those 6 shots officially. Only one really threatened Max Anchor, and it wasn't even that shot on goal that threatened him. There was one that went wide in the half. A more dangerous opportunity for North Texas. We'll see if either of these teams can build on it into the second half and generate some more opportunities here at Choctaw Stadium on the opening eve of the season here in 2024. all set to begin half number 2 between North Texas SC and Vancouver Whitecaps 2. Joe Malfa with you this evening from Choctaw Stadium in Arlington, Texas. Happy to have you along on MLSNextPro.com as we kick the season off. Action elsewhere here this evening on opening night. A couple of matches in action for you. All in action right now. Austin FC, the reigning champions, at home against Tacoma Defiance. They're still scoreless half an hour in. And at that same timestamp, Real Monarchs at home against Portland Timbers 2, still scoreless. So still waiting for the first goal of the 2024 MLS Next Pro season. 3 games in action right now. It's got to come from somewhere. Might it be here as we begin half number 2 with Vancouver right to left in the white, North Texas left to right in the blue. Picked up by Jay Herdman right off the go. Vancouver wanted to get after that North Texas back line, and instead they'll have to go all the way back for Max Anchor. Battle Anchor. Linder. Also part of that New Zealand youth national setup. Finn Linder was there at the World Cup along with Jay Herdman. Herdman seems to have more of a set role. Given away here off the deflection. Pepe, who has the lone yellow card from the first half. Herdman more entrenched with the national team. Should be heading to the Olympics, assuming health. Linder has some more work to do, but Ricardo Clark believes that Linder has what it takes to find himself on that final Olympic roster. First team is in town as well for Vancouver. They'll take on FC Dallas tomorrow. So they traveled separately in, but will travel back together. It slipped through for Pepe, but the offside flag comes up. Whitecaps 2 will spend the night. Will take in the match against FC Dallas in person tomorrow. Perhaps anybody who doesn't get in tonight could be utilized on the bench for the first team tomorrow. Always an interesting wrinkle that's thrown in additionally when the first and second teams are on the road in the same city. In that regard, it's almost like being at home where you have that option. Herdman. North Texas throw. Down by Linder. Here's Simmons, 20-year-old who made 3 starts last year. Malcolm Simmons might have to take on a larger role this year with Whitecaps 2. Spent time in Portugal with Benfica's U23s before coming over to Vancouver. Linder. A couple of times now down on this near sideline where you wonder if Vancouver is just having some trouble with the sight lines and that extra space and the dimensions. They just haven't been quite close on connecting some passes. Just seem to think they had some more space. Can get that on the baseball field where they don't have that natural boundary on the one sideline. Given away out of the back by North Texas. Bounces favorably for Vancouver, and that is not going to make Vancouver happy. Yes, it's a free kick, but they had the advantage and a really dangerous goal-scoring opportunity. brought all the way back for a free kick, and you could just see the referee give an acknowledgement that he might have done the wrong thing. A little apology there for Vancouver. Nothing you could do once the whistle's blown. Elliot Goldthorpe stands over it. Still looking for the first goal tonight and the first goal of the MLS Next Pro season. Scoreless in the other two matches as well. Goldthorpe initially lined up as if he was taking this free kick left-footed, switched over to the right foot now. Goldthorpe drives it goalward. Another moment gone by on another set piece in the attacking half for Vancouver. Things that you would have hoped to have had ironed out after your preseason matches, but understandably still going to take some time into the regular season. Neither team looking really sharp on set pieces tonight, at least offensively. Had some good moments defensively on set pieces. Nice move from Gerashmenkov. Doesn't amount to anything, but Simmons recovers. All the way for Emmanuel Math. Bodwall. Simmons playing through, looking for Fleurio Chateau. Centered it, but nobody was making that run. And you could see Fleurio Chateau with his palms faced skyward, wondering where that support was. Falling down off balance. A great ball put in by the striker. Understandably frustrated that nobody was making that run. Intensity has certainly kicked up a few notches in this second half. Whatever adjustments were made at halftime. First half of the first game, jitters maybe out of the way. Tarek Scott wisely plays it off of Gerashmenkov, and it's out for a corner here for North Texas. They had 5 in that first half. A couple of them were squandered by Garcia. Tried to drive them at the near post, but left them too short. And easy for the first line of defense of Vancouver to dispatch. A couple of other occasions they decided to go for the short corner. Sali is presenting that opportunity right now if Garcia wants it. Direct instead, flicked on, and he'll do it again. Something off the training ground there as they targeted Pepe. A different avenue from this corner and all the way back from Mendonca. It's the same result, 7 corners, 7 times. They did not generate an opportunity, North Texas. Wonder when either coach might dip into the bench to give this game a shake as well. Tarek Scott giving chase, cut off by Finn Linder. Referee letting them play on, very physical from Tarek Scott. North Texas wins possession back, it'll be a throw. Giving away right off that throw. Florio Chateau for Lowell Wright. Tried to break out a couple of times in transition, Vancouver. Hasn't been as crisp as Ricardo Clark maybe had in mind. Long diagonal from Norris. We've seen him hit that ball a few times tonight. Gerashmenkov. Mihail still with it. Gerashmenkov back into play. To the end line, Gerashmenkov. The referee says it took a deflection. Not for a corner. Swinger from Goldthorpe. Herdman volleys it. Herdman almost had what could have been the goal of the year as the opening goal of the season, but a terrific save by Colodi. The technique doesn't get better than what you just saw from Herdman. One touch as it's coming down. With every other game still scoreless, that would have been the first of the year. It would have set an incredibly high bar. Not meant to be. Michael Colodi, another save on what was officially the first shot on target of the match for Vancouver. Goldthorpe in swinger, loose in front, the net was empty. Florio Chateau didn't know much about it. I don't think he thought it was coming through that traffic. This is better now from Vancouver. Tonight's match brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. This attack going places now for North Texas. Looking for Pepe. The header is just wide. I don't want to jinx it for those of you sitting at home, but I would be surprised if this match ends 0-0 in the 90. Starting to see these teams open up a little bit more after an understandable feeling out process here in the first match of the season. But now you're seeing chances end to end. Certainly feels like there's a goal in this one, at least one. Zane gives it away to Goldthorpe. Albuni back and forth with Banwalt. Saint. Dunka for Gordon. Tarek Scott, plenty of space for Scott to push it. Tarek Scott working to the end line, great tackle put in. And they say it did take a deflection off of Scott. Emmanuel Math comes all the way across. Picture perfect challenge on Tarek Scott. As we tick up toward the hour mark, just a half hour remains in the season opener between North Texas and Vancouver. Happy to have you along this evening on MLSNextPro.com. Joe Malfa with you for the action from Choctaw Stadium in Arlington, Texas. Two teams who failed to qualify for the playoffs last year. Hoping to get back there this year. North Texas made the first edition of the playoffs back in 2022, ousted by St. Louis City 2 that year. Vancouver missed out on the playoffs, but finished third in the Pacific Division behind San Jose, now the Town. One of those branding changes to keep in mind as this year goes along. Zane will remain North Texas's. Tondeka blocked. Each of the other two matches have now gone to the half, so there's about a 10 to 12 minute window here where this is the only action. All three games are still scoreless. About a 10 to 12 minute window here for one of these two teams, one of these 22 players on the field. I call it 20. I don't imagine the goalkeepers are going to factor in at this juncture of the match. But an opportunity for somebody to step up and be the first on the score sheet around the league here in 2024. We'll answer someday to a trivia question. Who opened the scoring in the third season of MLS Next Pro? Still just one shot on target apiece. The closest anybody's come was Jay Herdman's volley a few moments ago. For Saint. Possession has remained stagnant in this half. About 65-35 at the break. It remains 65-35 in favor of North Texas. Showing patience, waiting to pick their moment. Gotten into the more dangerous areas, North Texas. Got 16 touches in Vancouver's 18-yard box. Vancouver only 5 touches on the other end in North Texas's box. Final third entries are similar, 30 to 28 in North Texas's favor. Just shows you that North Texas is getting into the attacking third and then turning it into more dangerous opportunities, more promising opportunities in the box. Very stark disparity between final third entries and touches in the opposing 18-yard box for Vancouver. 28 final third entries and only 5 touches in the box. North Texas defensively has done a standout job of keeping Vancouver on the perimeter where their only shot on target came from, that Jay Herdman volley. Scott. Turn is Garcia. Once again, it's Scott. Plays it ahead for Garcia. Gerashmenkov shields him out. It'll be a goal kick. Switched out wide to Sally. Abdul Zane joining him. It's still Sally looking through for Pepe. A little bit out of his reach. Not the most incisive movement so far from North Texas. So much of the attack for North Texas has come down the wide channels. Haven't seen them attacking much through the middle. Testing the center backs. That's better from them there. Colodi. Sometimes the most difficult thing as a goalkeeper is springing into action after you haven't had to do anything for large periods of time. That's exactly what Colodi did when he sprung into action for that diving save on the volley by Jay Herdman. Gerashimenkov, spin move, gets it past Mendonca. Taken out, it's just outside the 18. Fell into the box, free kick, not a penalty. Vancouver players are imploring our referee, Corbin May, to look at the scoreboard and see where the foul happened. No VAR, so even if he were to turn around and see that it might have been in the box, he wouldn't be able to do anything about it. But it certainly seemed like he got it right in the first place. Jay Herdman taking off the captain's armband means his night has come to an end. 2 changes coming. Florio Chateau off as well. Cyprian Cashuele is the spot of Florio Chateau. Liam McKenzie, the spot of Jay Herdman. Cashuele, one of the young players that Ricardo Clark was very excited about seeing here in 2024, a 19-year-old that they're looking to incorporate more in the group up from the academy. Lowell right, Elliot Goldthorpe standing over this free kick. Goldthorpe, the right-footed option. Lowell right, the left-footed option. Here in the 68th minute, it is Goldthorpe, it's deflected, and it's out for a corner. Oh, excuse me, the referee did not pick up the deflection. Out for a goal kick. Vancouver was asking for it, but the request was unanswered. 69 minutes in, still scoreless. Have to at least try and get it on target there. Here, Goldthorpe. I wonder now when Jean Gall and North Texas might counter with substitutions of their own after the 2 made by Vancouver. Tarek Scott busting through. Scott, an opportunity, but it's stopped by Max Anchor. Shot out of a cannon, Tarek Scott. Anchor makes his first save of the second half, his second of the match. Garcia had it taken away from Zane. Anchor clears. Trouble at the back here for Sainty as he's pressured by Cachuele. He's up playing out of it, but a bit lackadaisical. Can't ill afford a mistake in that portion of the field at this juncture of the match. How tight this game has been. Get the sense that if there is a mistake and a goal that comes of it, might be all we see tonight. Very, very fine margins in this one. Good step from Gerashimenkov. Wins it for Simmons. Back for Math. Linder. All the way back for Anchor. Could run this in the midfield for Vancouver. It's Gerashimenkov with some options. Gerashimenkov to the back post. Cachuele can't get there. It's a goal kick. Scott wins it for North Texas. Pondeka blocked again. This time Halbouni gets in the way. Long run to keep it in from Liam McKenzie. All right, trying to force his way through. Garcia comes away with it. Second half has just begun between Real Monarchs and Portland Timbers 2. I mentioned 12 minutes ago, there was about a 12-minute window with the other games at a half for somebody to step up and be a hero in this match, put their team ahead, and go down in the record books as the first goal scorer of the 2024 MLS Next Pro season, but that window is come and gone. Chance brewing again for North Texas, looking through for Pepe, cleared by Halbouni. This portion of the match is brought to you by UT Southwestern Medical Center, the #1 hospital in Dallas-Fort Worth. Colodi. First yellow card of the match on the Vancouver side belongs to Bilal Halbouni. Still just Diego Pepe with one for North Texas. Just a quarter of an hour remains. Still scoreless. Could it be on the way to kicks from the penalty mark to decide the bonus point here on opening night between North Texas and Vancouver. Taken to the end line. And a corner on the way for North Texas. Well won this corner from Ines Sali on that run to the end line. Short to Pondeca. Split through for Garcia, but a heavy touch. And the moment's gone.
We have a substitution for North Texas SC occurring in the 77th minute.
That'll be the last involvement for Garcia as well. Had a chance there to change things. Anthony Ramirez will take his spot. Anthony Ramirez, the 18-year-old. 14 appearances, 7 starts, 2 goals, 2 assists in his North Texas career. Sali gave it away. Long for Tarek Scott. He's been a spark plug this evening for North Texas. And his pressure helps with a throw deep in the attacking third. Whipped in by Scott. It'll be another corner for North Texas. Their 10th of the evening. Neither side have really threatened all that much. Expected goals are .63 to .52 in favor of North Texas. Remember, that metric just gives you an analytic look at, given the opportunities that were had by both teams tonight, how many would go in. Neither side yet even has a full expected goal based on the chances they've generated. Tells you it's been a slow evening offensively. Pondeca looking goalward, blocked. That'll be all for Diego Pepe. Second sub of the evening for North Texas.
Leading the match is number 16, Diego Pepe.
Malik Henry Scott into the match. Over the top for Pondeca. Waiting for some support, and it's pushed wide by Scott. Tarek Scott had the opportunity. Now Malik Henry Scott out there, number 36, older brother of Tarek Scott. Malik Henry Scott will be at right back here. You see in the bottom of your screen. Tarek Scott has slotted up now as the 9. There's a lone striker taking Pepe's spot. Picked up by Cashuele and a free kick for Vancouver. A yellow card for Nolan Norris.
off, finishing the North Texas SC player number 32, Golden Force in the 81st minute.
Austin FC just went down a man against Tacoma. Still scoreless there in the 53rd minute. Monarchs Timbers scoreless in the 54th. We are scoreless in the 82nd. Another set piece opportunity for Vancouver. Goldthorpe, the left-footed option. Lowell right, and he's the right-footed option. It's interesting if you remember when they had that free kick just outside the 18 earlier in this half. It was the same two standing over it, but flipped. Lowell right was the left-footed option, Goldthorpe the right-footed option. Both comfortable with both feet. And it is Lowell right into the wall. Tarek Scott wants to run. It's going 2v7. It's still Tarek Scott to the end line. Scott goes for goal from a tight angle. And no trouble for Max Anker. McKenzie. This portion of the match brought to you by Advocare. Energy for today, tomorrow, every day. Try from distance here by Goldthorpe. Off the mark again. Still just one shot on target tonight, Vancouver. On their 5 tries. North Texas 14 shots, 3 on target. Mendonca. Split through for Ramirez. Picked up by Matt. Linder. On the move, it's Lowell right. Near the hour mark in the other 2 matches, still scoreless. Could we really be heading for a scenario where the first goal of the season might not come until the second day of the season? After 3 scoreless draws tonight, we are not far off of that scenario. Another change now. Sees Mendonca come off. Dylan Lacey into the match. Gerashimenkov for Simmons, goes for goal, Simmons. Whistles over the bar. We'll look at the opportunity for Simmons. Free kick for Vancouver. Driven from Goldthorpe into the mix. The header is off target from Halbouni. Another goal kick. Risky to be playing out of the back like that at this juncture of the match, given the score line. And given away, Lowell Wright goes for goal. A lot of frustration from Vancouver. Impatience, trying shots from everywhere on the field. They have not been able to penetrate this back line of North Texas. Still, now in the 89th minute, only 5 touches in the opposing 18-yard box for Vancouver. Compared to 23 for North Texas. They've gotten into the final third 38 times, Vancouver. 33 of those times they failed to enter the 18. It's a way of showcasing how strong the heart of this back line has been for North Texas, keeping everything on the perimeter and away from Michael Colodey's goal. Tarek Scott. Sali. Inez Sali through for Scott, lays it off. Malik Henry Scott working end line. No trouble for Anchor. Pondeka parrying, Pondeka blocked. It's out for a corner. Only 1 minute of stoppage time at the end of this second half. Gives you a sense of how straightforward this half has been. Sali whips it in. The header to the far post is saved off the line by Lowell Wright. Blasted by Lacey. Blocked to Henry Scott. And another corner coming for North Texas. Taking their best chances for the last moments. Surely the last opportunity this will be. The minute of stoppage time has come and gone. Otherwise, we're headed to kicks from the penalty mark. Corner whipped in, headed away. Referee with whistle in hand. Have to get this in quickly if you're North Texas. On the turn, coming through, and it's saved. Pondeka had the last opportunity. There's the final whistle. And we are headed to kicks from the penalty mark here in the opening match of the MLS Next Pro season. We'll have a coin toss to figure out all the happenings here and in the field, who kicks first, all that jazz. And it kicks from the penalty mark. Both teams will walk away from tonight with a point. There is another point up for grabs to whichever side is able to win the shootout. Third year of this format, starting to gain traction elsewhere in the world. Stories have come out recently that some leagues and competitions in Europe are trying to give this format a look. We saw it work in the Leagues Cup last year between Liga MX and MLS. MLS Next Pro always had it first. Now in year 3 of this format. So great for these players, too, to just have these opportunities. Think of all the competitions domestically and globally, where the biggest moments are sometimes decided kicks from the mark, be it the World Cup final in Qatar a couple of years ago. Whatever the case may be, this part of the sport is one that maybe divides some. There might be some who'd rather just see them play until there's no air left in the lungs and there's just exhaustion and somebody has to find a goal somehow. Others more content with the shootout. Either way, it's the way games are won, it's the way trophies are won, and it's the way an extra point is won here at MLS Next Pro. We saw it last year, whether it was players who had gone through MLS Next Pro up to their first teams, who had shootouts in Leagues Cup, or who had shootouts in the playoffs. Had the experience here. Benjamin Kramaski is somebody who comes to mind for Inter Miami. Helped Inter Miami win a couple of shootouts in both Leagues Cup and US Open Cup. Player who started in MLS Next Pro, dealing with the kicks from the mark here and the growth that came with that. It'll be Vancouver shooting first. Bilal Halbouni steps up for the first kick. 24-year-old from Ontario. He's capped at the senior level for Syria just once in 2022. Halbouni against Kolodi, a goalkeeper who had a very quiet night. Only one save he had to make. Halbouni gets it under the arm of Kolodi. Upset with himself, the goalkeeper. A wry smile on his face. Thought he had that one to put North Texas in the advantage. Have a closer look. Just underneath, a tight window, basically between his armpit and the ground, and the ball found a way through. So up steps Carl Sainty, 21-year-old Haitian center back, 15 caps for Haiti at the senior level. Regular starter in Nations League and started 3 matches at the Gold Cup last summer. Sainty against Max Anker, and it's saved by Anker. Not a bad take from Sainty. Got it elevated with some pace on it and over toward that post. Sometimes you just have to tip the cap to the goalkeeper. Max Anker stuck up that left paw, strong enough to keep it out. Elliot Goldthorpe to consolidate the advantage for Vancouver, but it's saved this time by Colodi. Back-to-back saves from these keepers, and North Texas can equalize once again. Nolan Norris stepping up on the day that he heard of his call up to the U19 national team for the United States. Playing friendlies later this month against England and Morocco. Slow approach from Norris, chips it. Oh, that's the confidence of a 19-year-old who just got a national team call earlier today. The celebration beckoning for the roar of the crowd. Doesn't get any cooler than that. Maybe the most fun part, depending on which side you're on of the Panenka, is when the goalkeeper, as you just saw there for Max Anker, has to turn around, and it's so slow as it's looping. The goalkeeper actually has to watch it hit the back of the net. All you can do is smile after it, and he had a smile on his face. All level after 2 kicks aside. Malcolm Simmons now for Vancouver. 21-year-old from Montreal. Simmons powers it home. Colodi gets the right way, and he shows some appreciation to Simmons for that effort. Pressure back to North Texas. Anthony Ramirez, a late sub in this one. Didn't really see too much of the ball at his feet when he came in, but an important one now from 12 yards out, and it's saved by Anker. A poor effort, really, on the penalty from Ramirez. And he knows it. You can see it in the body language as he walks back to midfield. One of the easier penalty saves Max Anker might ever have to make. Can't win it yet, Vancouver, but could put themselves one miss or make away. Gerashimenkov, very active game on the left side tonight. Gerashimenkov puts them in position. North Texas must score to keep it going. Up steps Inez Sali. U22 initiative signing for FC Dallas. This evening on loan from the first team. Must score to keep it going. Against Max Anker, who's already made 2 saves in this shootout. Sali blasts it perfectly just under the bar into the roof of the net. Keeps North Texas alive for now. A make from Vancouver would end it. So Lowell Wright will have a chance to win it now. Scored 4 goals with 3 assists last season in his 10 starts Had a couple of opportunities tonight, staring down Michael Collodi. He scores, they pick up the extra point. No run up at all. Casual, collected, finished. And Vancouver takes it on kicks from the mark here in the season opener. Thought the most confident effort of the shootout would have been Nolan Norris's Panenka. Lowell Wright changes that. Basically a two-step run-up. Having a word with the goalkeeper, Michael Collodi. All smiles from Lowell Wright, who is your Adidas man of the match. Converting the winning kick from the mark. Again, Wright, your Adidas man of the match tonight. Scoring the winning kick from the mark. Celebrating with his teammates. Another look at how he won it. Just a very, very simple 1-2. And he puts it over the hand of Collodi with precision, with power. A perfect penalty in the end from Lowell Wright. Goes to celebrate with his keeper, who made two big saves. And Vancouver takes the extra point on the road to begin this season. So for the crew that makes this possible, I'm Joe Malva saying so long from Choctaw Stadium in Arlington, Texas. Vancouver Whitecaps 2 over North Texas SC in kicks from the mark after a 0-0 draw through 90 here on the opening night of the MLS Next Pro season. Make sure you're back for more action this weekend. 2 more games tomorrow, a full slate on Sunday, and you can catch it all either on MLSNextPro.com or MLS Season Pass on Apple TV. Good night, everybody.
This copyrighted broadcast of Major League Soccer may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of
Major League Soccer.